wish to establish via PRAER a standard for modest wear that really reflects the inward and outward qualities of modesty. Modesty for me is beautiful, and PRAER is an outlet, a creative outlet, which offers this versatility and luxury that is meant to honour the wearer. As a believer with a sense of purpose, I think certain things are important, and I like looking good. I'm Ilyas, and I design modest clothing. Modest clothing is clothing that embodies the principles of modesty. This means having the conscientious principles such as ethical production, sustainable materials, and even locality of business. Modest clothing takes many shapes and forms, and there are many companies out there who claim to offer modest clothing. And the fashion industry or clothing industry is one of the most exploitative in the world. You will find sweatshops, child labour, everything that you hear about in any one of these countries where major brands are sourcing their clothing. And it's something which a lot of people overlook. And I knew when I'm wearing these things, when I'm purchasing from these places, that there's something better. PRAER for me was a necessary endeavour. I wanted to find a space where clothing could be adorned for the beauty of modesty, where the principles of modesty were highlighted both internally and externally. Instead of building one's confidence based on this objectification and drawing one's attention from a sense of lust, I wanted to offer something which did almost the exact opposite, where you get the sense of validation from the sense of internal strength, of confidence. And your uniqueness isn't that because you seek to be different, but you seek something real, something meaningful. Modesty internally is more significant than externally, but internally the principles of modesty are conscientiousness. It includes the manner in which it was created, the manner in which the materials were sourced, the impact that that production for that clothing has had on the world and on the local community. And of course, outwardly, modesty is first and foremost just a desexualization. And that's typically where modest clothing stake their claim, that we are covering a bit more than the status quo. And whether this is sufficient for you or not is up to you, but it wasn't sufficient for me, and I wanted something more extensive, something more holistic, and something which tied in more accurately to the real meaning of modesty. And you can trust that we would die on that hill, that we would not compromise for any amount of money, we would not compromise for any amount of ease. In fact, we want to just do right by the world, and we want to do right by ourselves. After scouring hundreds of factories, I settled with a factory in North London. The main reason the factory was chosen was for their stance on ethical production.
In terms of the ethical side, is paying our staff really well. And there's a lot of exploitation here in London as well, so it's so important to be careful of that. So in terms of fabrics, we always use natural fibres that are made sustainably. Like in your case, you sourced the fabric yourselves and you made sure it was sustainable.
The material selection took actual years. We settled with one from South Korea. It's a mixture of cotton, lyocell tensile and elastane. Lyocell tensile, of course, being key to that sustainable aspect. It's a fibre created from eucalyptus wood, and lyocell tensile is a pioneer in sustainable fabrics.
With nylons and stuff like that, we use fabrics that are from the ocean waste, and they're regenerated fabrics, and it's made in Italy. Yeah, so we recycle everything, even the leftover fabrics. We either recycle them or we make accessories. In your case, we made knee sleeves. So little things like that, I think it all helps. It's not possible to be 100% like CO2 zero or whatever, but just doing little steps in your manufacturing is the best thing forward.
So PRAER was something I wanted to establish to offer and pioneer the positive, illuminating aspects of modesty and of modest clothing. It is something that has its own beauty in its own right, and not something that needs to be compared. What I really hope to do is highlight and bolster the beauty of modesty, as I said, both internally and externally. And everyone's free to choose what they like. And I don't want this to be a matter of shaming those who've chosen otherwise. And of course, outwardly, modesty is beauty. And you can't convince me otherwise.